I'm Olivia Samoka. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Jerusalem Bridge crossing Hatzalatladi River in Moshupa has collapsed. UK announced a 2.6 billion pounds loan to Ukraine to enhance its defense capabilities.
And in sport, saw Flamingo stage an impressive comeback to force a 3-3 draw against the Traffic.
And that is Tato Jose Mori joining us later on a sport desk. Patricia Shobonyan is interpreting in sign language. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Now, Moshupa experienced heavy rainfall yesterday, leading to the collapse of the Jerusalem Bridge, which crosses Hatzalatladi River that connects the road from Shoprite to Madukyala Ward. Moshupa Station Commander Superintendent Chikuma Lesetedi confirmed the incident in an interview. He reassured residents that alternative routes are available for commuters while authorities assess the situation.
Na re itemagala dipula tse di bokete mo bosigong ka nako ya bo 7:30 go itlhelle masigo gare ka bo 12 mme mo nakong eno taketse sebaka se ke go thagise motswana itse gore dipula tse ne tsa baka ditshenyo mo motseng wa rona tse leng gore borogo ba molako wa Hatzalatladi bona ba helletsa bo gaoganye ka bogare mme mo nako ya gampieko borogo jo re botsetse ile gone go leka go somarela matshelo a Botswana ka jalo motswana iso ke kopa gore o dirise ditsela dingwe tse di leng teng borogo jo ke jo botswang ha shopong ya Shoprite wa ka goteng ka Madutela mme ka jalo gona le ditsela tse dingwe tse di leng teng tse lo re ka di dirisa go hema sone seemo sa dikotsi.
Prison inmates convicted for murder and rape have raised concerns of discrimination in implementation of the presidential pardon, citing that it's biased and contradicts the government's intentions and efforts of transforming the prisons into correctional services. They voiced their grievances and submitted suggestions of the possible solutions to the Assistant Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, Mr. Augustine Nyatanga, during the visit to Silibepikwe prison. Karabo Mulusi reports.
The offenders convicted for murder and rape have challenged the fairness of the terms and conditions attached to Section 53 of the Constitution of the country, conferred on the President the power to grant a pardon to any person convicted of any offense. I was left out in 4 presidential pardons due to selection of offenses. I am convicted for murder, and we are treated as outcasts who do not deserve to be reintegrated into the community through presidential pardon. I am enriched with skills together with these other inmates, but that talent ends in prison. One of the skilled convicts died recently, and he was part of the team that constructed the road that side. We are offenders, but we are rehabilitated. Some are remanded, and when they apply for bail, they are instructed to pay hefty amounts of money. They end up being sentenced and returned to prison to serve those terms. The inmates who work in gardens complicate issues because they have tendencies of sneaking contrabands such as marijuana into prisons. I have pictures which depict how they package it. Some who are engaged in workshops make sharp objects for purposes of hurting others when they get into fights. The offenses of murder and rape, classified as serious crimes, are leading with 46 and 72 respectively in a population of 307 inmates in Silibepikwe prison. They are pleading for a second chance in life, reasoning that despite the challenges, the rehabilitation programs have shaped their behavior and comprehension of circumstances. Some of the rehabilitation programs, such as electrical and plumbing, are in the prisons in the southern part of the country, and it's a challenge to travel to those areas to get certificates. I don't know if it's because of shortage of transport. However, that challenge of transport never arises when we have to appear in court.
ke ithakentse ke ngware ga gore ha o ya go makgotlasekelong dikoloi ga di shone.
In responding to the grievances of the prison inmates, the government will be faced with a complicated matter of addressing the issue of gender-based violence, which has engulfed the society, and considering the views of the nation submitted during the Constitutional Review Commission in 2022. Karabo Mulusi, BTV News, Silibi Pikwe.
Different experts at an event aimed at unpacking death row judgments, which was organized by UB Criminal Justice Society in collaboration with Untold Stories with Rachel Sibinyani, has prompted government to review prison policies in order for prisons to be habitable, to reintegrate offenders back into society as proper rehabilitation is necessary. Wabitsu Mpulubusi has this story.
According to the laws of Botswana, Section 2.3 hints that anyone convicted of murder shall be sentenced to death. However, subsection 2 of the same state that the court may impose a custodial sentence instead of the death penalty where there are extenuating circumstances. Recently, there has been debates on social media as people were unsettled with the Court of Appeal's decision to overturn the death penalty imposed on Pasmo Moyo and Unangoni Alton by the High Court, giving them custodial sentences due to extenuating circumstances found in their cases.
The pathologist report does show that Ifilo was blocking the knife. She was trying to swat the knife because she had like defensive wounds moment of Ungahao. So my question is, how did then the Court of Appeal arrive covering Unangoni Alton was acting on extenuating circumstances?
But the extenuating circumstances di teng sa ntlha ke provocation ya ditlhapa sa bobedi ke kgang ya gore o nole bojalwa the previous day go itlhele moso ya latela moswi mme go sena bosupi bope ga bo eleng gore bo ganetsa gore o naano
ne re nya batla bola. It was 17 hatwe gompieno ba 14 gora gore ha ile gore ono o rile pholo ya gago e mo gore ba bararo ba kalediwe gora gore ga wa go.
The increasing crime rate is a concern, hence a clarion call was made for government to make prisons more habitable to reintegrate prisoners into the society, as well as proper character building.
Before your prison sentence, only for 5 years. However, on the second or third year, that's where that thing comes in. It's called restorative justice. The restorative justice, it allows a victim, the sentence is early release. The body of prisons, they don't consult the victim. Maybe the sentence society.
One of the speakers at this gathering says government should consider implementing isolation bail for suspects not to interfere with witnesses. Wabetsui Mpulubusi, BTV News, Gaborone.
Dr. Precious Serrero of Pimo Clinic says it is important to raise awareness on the endometriosis condition, as the public and the health sector is not fully aware of it, and early diagnosis and effective treatment of endometriosis is important. Speaking at the awareness work organized by the Endometriosis Foundation, she says that the disease has significant social, public health and economic implications. It can decrease quality of life due to severe pain, fatigue, depression, anxiety and infertility. Horata Maranyani with more.
The month of March brings women, families and medical communities together for endometriosis awareness. The endometriosis condition is a chronic disease associated with severe life-impacting pain during periods.
You find that it affects their quality of life. These are women that are missing work every month. These are girls that are missing school every month because of this particular condition. So it's very important for us to start the conversation, educate people, get people to know about it so that they can get diagnosed early, and once we have been able to identify it a bit earlier, we can also start to manage it, and after that improve the quality of life for the people that have the condition itself. Endometriosis is one of the non-communicable diseases that we know, or NCDs, and as we know, as a country, we are in a situation where the NCDs are at an all-time high and keep on increasing. So as a clinic, we saw it fit to take on this responsibility to raise awareness and not just be a clinic that's just waiting.
So like I said, we only raise awareness. We are a non-profitable organization. The best that we can do is to educate every community, be it the educational sector, the workplace, because our doctors are not yet aware of these issues.
Ms. Sadi Sitidi spoke on her journey on the endometriosis condition. I went through a lot with my surgeries, unable to walk or do anything. What we ask as those living with endometriosis is for everyone to understand that this disease is not just a minor illness and that it is quite serious.
That's a minor thing, has a flu, has a bad period pain.
Non-communicable diseases remain a priority in the country's national development agenda. Khorata Moranyani, BTV News, Gaborone.
You are still watching BTV News. Thank you for staying with us. Now moving on. One of the two children of Moshupa family who lost their lives after drowning in a barrow pit filled with water at Botswana ward in Molepolole last week were laid to rest on Saturday morning. Khosi Moshupa, aged 9, was a student at Botswana Primary School when he lost his life. Thank you, Sinso.
Khosi was described as a reserved and well-mannered child who also loved playing, and there's testament showing his abilities. Hence, his death was a huge loss as he has been healthy with a promising future.
I
refer to him as Khosi because he was the one in charge of distributing sweets whenever I came home. I expected a lot from him, and his untimely death is painful.
Modimo ha go segofatsa ka ngwana o le motsadi ga o solofele gore mo nakong e khutshwane ka motsaya.
When God blesses a parent with a child, they do not expect to lose them. The same goes for us teachers. When God gives us students to groom, we do not wish to lose them. But since it happened, we are struggling to come to terms with it.
Ao Modimo o motsere nako e sine yone. Re utlile botlhoko mme ke gore re santse re palwa ke go amogela thato ya Modimo.
The leadership of Molepolole village came in large numbers to offer condolences to Moshupa family.
Batsamaile ba babedi le ba sambala ba botlana thata.
The deceased was still young. Their parents were hoping that they would one day finish school and work, but we have to accept God's will.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 3 to 4, it says, Khosi is in the presence of the Lord, in place of peace and comfort.
Khosi Sabaka of Stake and Hill Ward says these barrow pits which were dug years ago when developments were made are hazardous, therefore appealing to the government to either cover the pits or fence them. He further appealed to parents and guardians to monitor their children, especially during rainy seasons. Thank you, to BTV News, Molepolole.
Local Enterprise Authority has entered into a collaborative partnership with e-Market Solutions Botswana to deliver an e-Market Export Accelerator program. This creditor program for a South African e-commerce platform, Take A Lot, will play a role in giving Botswana access into the South African markets. The two entities signed a memorandum of understanding in Gaborone on Friday. Kilekeletsu Somaleka reports.
The agreement comes at a time when the country is exploring technological interventions to facilitate market access and help locals leverage on AfCFTA. The Ministry of Finance recently made a pronouncement to adjust the Pula currency weight against the South African rand from 45 to 50%, which will also prove beneficial to the locals in the new tripartite agreement between Leah, E-Market Solutions, and Take a Lot. This is expected to foster competitiveness of domestic products and services into the lucrative South African markets.
As the Local Enterprise Authority, part of our strategy, one of the objectives in our strategy is to ensure we assist the SMMEs to penetrate both the local and international markets. And this we cannot do alone. Now that we cannot do this alone, there are other players within the SMME ecosystem, like the e-market. We decided to have those engagements with e-market Botswana and say, how can we partner so that we can assist our SMMEs to export, at least for now, to the Republic of South Africa.
In October 2024, e-market successfully signed an MOU with Take a Lot Group, with the shared goal of creating a frictionless pathway for Botswana to participate in the Take a Lot marketplace, not just as buyers, but also as sellers. This shared goal of seeing the talent and expertise of our local entrepreneurs and artisans exported beyond our borders is what then led us to Leah's doorstep.
Identified SMMEs will be capacitated by both Leah and E-Market Solutions to align to set requirements by Take a Lot, with quality considered the core component for efficiency.
You cannot send things to another jurisdiction and expect that they will be easily allowed in that jurisdiction if they are of suspect quality. So herein marks in another of our interventions with our clients, which is quality interventions. We partner with the Botswana Bureau of Standards and making sure that what we will be taking to e-market and eventually exporting to the foreign country meets the expected quality standard.
As you are out there doing whatever it is that God has given you to do, make sure that you are exceptional. And the good thing or the blessing in this is that if you can harness those issues of quality and market fit here in Botswana, you certainly can do it outside.
The program is hoped to support the government efforts of economic diversification and creation of jobs. Gilitlelezwe, Somolikai, BTV News, Gaborone.
Now, in international news, yesterday the UK announced a £2.6 billion loan to Ukraine to enhance its defence capabilities. The loan agreement was signed virtually by Ukrainian Finance Minister and UK Treasury Secretary Rachel Reeves during a meeting between UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The loan, backed by frozen Russian assets, was hailed by Machendo as a key step in strengthening Ukraine's defence. Time for sport news. Tato Khosimori on standby.
Thank you, Libile Samoka. Welcome to the last edition of Sports Update from Botswana Tonight Sports Desk. I am Tato Khosumore. Here is our leading story tonight. So Flamingos stage an impressive comeback to force a thrilling 3-3 draw against host Traffic in an FNB Premiership League match played yesterday at the Francis Town Council Stadium. Karabo Sebele has more details.
Martin Daka put the host in the lead on the 20th minute. However, just 2 minutes later, Soa FC equalized thanks to a goal from Huizone Logopelo. 7 minutes before halftime, Soa took the lead for the first time, with Bame Morwalela scoring to make it 2-1. After the break, Tafik picked up where they left off, with Martin Daka scoring his second goal of the match in the 52nd minute to level the score. Tafik then surged ahead in the 61st minute when Kazadi Guithe netted their third goal. But in added time, Suwa Samuel Mokoro scored a dramatic equalizer, securing a 3-3 draw for his team.
We had control in our hands. We conceded first goal, but character of my guys is amazing. They immediately equalize. After 6 minutes, we gained the lead 2-1. And only thing that I regret today are those 2 chances, one against goalkeeper, that we should convert. But there is no objections to players who didn't convert it. They will do that next game.
5 games they've been playing, they've been doing well. So we knew all the time that our game today was going to be a tough one.
The draw saw Tafik drop from first to second place in the league standings with 41 points, following Rollers' 3-1 victory over Extension Gunners. Karabo Sibili, BTV Sport, Francistown.
Still in the FNB Premiership League game played yesterday, Moruple Wanderers secured a 1-0 victory over Nico United at Palape Sports Complex. Huitsone Sakeng reports.
Fana Bamakala entered the game determined to win and claim 3 points. They took an early lead in the 3rd minutes of the first half, thanks to a goal by Tito Mpisa. After the goal, the pace of the game intensified, with Wanderers pushing for a second goal and United searching for an equalizer. The first half ended with Wanderers still in the lead. After the break, Wanderers make strategic substitutions in their midfield and attack to strengthen their defense and prevent United from scoring.
It was a game of 2 halves, a beautiful game of football. First half, just from kickoff, they had the breakaway there. They had a 1-1 with our goalkeeper, and then we escaped. They missed it. After that, we had our moment that side. We took advantage. We scored a beautiful goal and viewer brilliance from Bonjo. And I'm happy with the boys. They took the message very well at halftime because from there I felt we had more control. We had the initiative now. We had more. We were able to put our foot on the ball. We played with confidence, with more cohesion, which was beautiful. But
the result leaves Wanderers in a strong position, moving into the top 5, while United continue to struggle near the bottom of the table. Huizone Saking, BTV Sport, Palape.
And lastly, in softball news, Vikings Ladies Softball Club edged out rivals Wales by 9 runs to 8 in a tightly contested Botswana Softball Association League game played on Saturday at the National Diamond in Gaborone. Kariso Molelekwa with the details.
Both teams started the game on a high note as the first inning ended in a 2-all stalemate. In the second inning, Vikings raised the tempo of the game, winning it by 5 runs to Wales 4. Wales displayed a good tactical approach in the third inning, registering 4 runs, while Vikings failed to register a single run. In the fourth and fifth innings, which were tied, Vikings only managed to register a single run in each inning, while Wales failed to register a run to give Vikings a narrow 9-8 overall win. We didn't bat the way I expected. We were knocked out in the bases and we didn't score enough. Even our pitchers didn't control the game due to lack of experience. Our players are not able to train together, and that affects our performance.
The game. Pitcher is the engine of the team. Basantse ba palo go control ke ba gola ba santse ba sa itse go control game dia ja santse re le ka go disa hale and one other thing se re go re se re paledisa gore bo re khona go renne le team estro go ona di players are not pataless. We are not living mo motseng mo one ka le gore team a jwaneng ba mo ba nna ba mo ba yang go ba coach is very difficult.
Looking from the previous game we didn't play well, but today we did well. But today we did well. The encouragement we had from the teammates as well as the coach. That's what at first but at the end we made it.
In another league encounter play on Saturday, Wales men's side walloped Vikings men by 14 runs to 6. Kariso Morelekwa, PTV Sport, Gaborone.
And that's how we wrap up Botswana Tonight sports segment this Sunday evening. Thank you very much for the privilege of your time. Before we part ways, let's take a recap of our leading stories.
Jerusalem Bridge crossing Hazalatladi River in Moshupa has collapsed. UK announces a £2.6 billion loan to Ukraine to enhance its defense capabilities.
So our Flamingos stage an impressive comeback to force a thrilling 3-3 draw against the Traffic.
That is all the news we had for you this Sunday. Thank you for staying with us. Now, weather is up next.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather forecast brought to you by Samuel Ramoton. The following are some of the rainfall amounts that were recorded this morning at 8 o'clock. 81 millimeters at Ralekheto Primary School, 70 at Kokota Primary School, 66 at Malwele Crops, 62 at Kudumilapre Primary School, 60 at Serenani Primary School, 52 at Mabuya Sube Wildlife Camp, 48 at Metsemansu Primary School, 40 at Tsetseng Primary School, 38 at Joanna Park, 36 at Omawaneno Primary School, 32 at Dupalmepe Farm, 30 at Joanna Med Station, 30 at Sokwasinsu Artificial Insemination Camp, 28 at Sakhela JSS, 24 at Molepule Prison, 20 at Kwanasereto JSS, 19 at Khansi Med Station, 15 at Sikwani Police, 12 at Veda Med Station, 8 at Neo Sfarm, 8 at Khali Hill, GSS 7 at Khabane Crop, 6 at Raikops GSS, 5 at Gaborone Game Reserve, 4 at Nojani Med Station, 3 at Tsau Wildlife Camp, and 2 at Savuti Wildlife Camp. Well, the current satellite picture shows clouds which are visible over most areas of the country, and this blue color shows developed thunderstorms which are expected to thunder or shower tonight in most areas of the country. As for tomorrow, cloudy conditions are expected over most areas of the country, with possibility of isolated thunder showers over Kgalagadi, southeast, Katlin-Kwene, central and northeast, but over Ngamiland, Khansi and southern, we're expecting scattered thunder showers. In the morning, warm temperatures are expected over Khansi, Kgalagadi, southern, southeast, Katlin-Kwene, southern, central and northeast, with minimums ranging from 18 to 19 degrees Celsius. But over northern central, Chobe and Ngamiland, we're expecting hot temperatures in the morning, with minimums of 20 degrees Celsius in most areas. In the afternoon, warm temperatures are expected over the entire country, with the maximums ranging from 27 to about 30 degrees Celsius. Now, as for some cities in southern Africa, showers are expected over Maseru and Johannesburg, but over Manzini, Gqeberha, Appington and Cape Town, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions. Showers are also expected over Antananarivo, Beira, Harare and Lusaka, but over Windhoek, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions. Partly cloudy conditions are also expected over Blantyre and Dar es Salaam, but over Luanda and Kinshasa, we're expecting some showers. That's the weather forecast. Have yourself a good night.
Thank you for staying with us on Botswana Tonight. Now, the relocation of health services from one ministry to another is said to be a very sensitive exercise. Therefore, it is important to provide employees with regular counseling and details of the restructuring process. This was said during a consultative meeting at Good Hope on transfer of primary health care services from central government back to the councils. Take a listen.
Re emela jana go Gaborone re le mo le potlapotli ka gore re ntse re sa gogagogane ga ntwa re gogagogana ga go utlwana le ba ga rona ba di-union le rona re gogagogana mo eseng ga ntwa le Ministry of Health. All this gogagogana e le go batla go appreciate all the issues tse e leng gore they will surround the relocation, tse di amang bodiredi, tse di amang tse e leng gore ke tsone tse le berekang ka tsone ka ko Ministry of Health. and precisely ko ditleliniking. So in the end, we have come to an agreement, and this agreement was reached just last week, Thursday. We now got the blessing of the unions to start addressing their membership. The relocation has been mentioned, but consultation is not taking place, or they are not hearing from anybody about anything. Miki supe hela gone gore kana jaaka le itse ditsamaiso di ntse, we have agreements that we sign with our counterparts and our stakeholders, in particular ke bua ka di union, as to the processes that we need to follow ha ile gore jaanong dilo di ama batho ba bone, and we needed to satisfy them that we are going to do things the right way, the proper way, where their members would not be disadvantaged or disenfranchised in any way. Mire ha ba sona ba ikgotswahatsa mo ke tla tsenelang ko teng hantse ke ya ko tlase gore ba ne ba ikgotswahatsa thata mo go yeng, gore gongwe ha ile gore go ne go santse go na le letshogo la gore tota ga tere ya kae dikgang tse re na le tsone di a go dirwa jang, mathata a ntse re a sekere ka kwano a go hella kae jang, gore ko bohelong e be ke kgonne go araba. What I should note, however, ke gore I would not be going into specifics sa your various issues gore e ntse jana ke tla di ama hela ke okola ha godimo, but going into the general treatment that is going to be applied on your issues. Se le tshwantse gore le se note lona hela ke gore nyamme go ra gore dikgang tsa rona di a itsege le go local government, dikgang tsa rona di shareilwe in an open platform with the unions, and we shouldn't be worried. Yaanong ke tla simolla hela ke le ha summary of the key issues, mme ke simolla hela ka the affected numbers, where we are looking at around 8,000